2, 1.
Ready.
Just relax and enjoy the ride.
In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815. 815.
I'm pretty certain, Tom, that if you just keep wearing the same style of clothes all the time, you'll become quite trendy in every 20 years or so.
And if you wear the same clothes every time, you'll smell in about 20 days or so.
You're spot on as normal. It's
Yes, and I got to change my shirt, by the way. That reminds me. I think I'm on day 12.
Podcast. Hey, it's the 7th day of September, the year 2024, the latest it has ever been.
In the history of the world.
And you made it.
Did I say that right? In the history of time?
History of mankind is what I like to say.
Mankind, that's right.
Yes.
See,
yes.
Look at that. I've got brain drain today. My Snoopy coffee cup and me were one and the same today.
We'll put you on that side of the screen, see if you do a better job.
Yeah. I don't know.
We may or may not have our good friend Joanne from Paws Humane Society on today. She is in a location unfamiliar to her and not sure about her Wi-Fi connection. So we may or may not.
Unfamiliar to her? Is she in jail?
I didn't ask questions. All she said was, I don't know if I'll be on. So,
Yeah, okay.
I left.
Sorry, Joanne. I didn't mean to imply that you were some sort of a common criminal or anything. Although there was that parking ticket scandal. Yeah.
We're all just breaking the law. We're all just breaking the law.
That's right, Judas.
I'm looking here. I think we're streaming on 7 platforms at the moment right now. I think everything's working like it's supposed to. Had to do a little reboot there, which is why we started a couple minutes late than normal. But I think we're back on and ready to go. We got some great guests for you this week. Our friends from the United Way are back. We're going to talk with Julie in just a little bit. And the Eagles Club's doing something special for veterans. We're going to talk coming up here with Tracy about what's happening at the Eagles Club in just a week. It's a week from today. So we will talk with them coming up. But first, a little bit of business to take care of, and it's called the big number of the week. This might be a blessing in disguise today, Tom. Maybe with Joanne not able to tune in, you'll be able to catch up to her. She's way out in front, 9-3.
Unless I can get 6 points today alone and she gets nothing, I'm not catching up. I have to score a touchdown with a missed extra point.
That would be something else. Our big number of the week this week is 1.5 million. And your answer is championship or chicken wings. Yes, championship or chicken wings. Put your guess in the chat, friends. What do you think our big number of the week has to do with this week?
That's my guess.
Is it ch or ch? Oh, you're going with the chicken wings.
I have to. I can't do it on my phone. So hopefully Joanne didn't see it. But if she did, oh well.
Oh well, doesn't matter.
I don't care. My phone is charging. It wouldn't charge last night. It was at 12% this morning. So I finally got it. I'm not touching it until it's fully charged. Okay. Not touching it because I've got it off. So anyway. Well,
technology, just like our show start this morning, technology. We just sometimes.
Yeah. Technology drives me nuts.
You got to reboot things once in a while. I got to remind my wife every once in a while, you know what you have to do? You have to shut your phone off, even just for a few minutes, every so often. Just shut it off. Because it doesn't do some updates without shutting it off and turning it back on. What's the Microsoft method, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that how it works?
Well, yeah, because the previous method of throwing your computer up against the wall just didn't work. It was very expensive.
It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea.
You got to replace the computer. Then you got to replace a hole in the wall. Doesn't work.
Unless you're good at drywall, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump in. What do you say? We've got our first guest today joining us from the United Way of Rock River Valley. They have been around for years and done good work for years. And if your business is probably in some way, shape, or form connected to the Rock River Valley United Way, especially the our larger businesses seem to plug into them in some way, shape, or form over the years. And Julie Bosma or Bosma, I always say her last name incorrectly, and she can correct me, and she's polite about it. Julie's running the show over there these days. Good morning to you, Julie. How are you?
Hi, Greg. I'm great. How are you guys?
Thanks for coming back on. We're doing very well. I'm going to put you on the bigger part of the screen where we can see you really nice and clear. Summer's
comment about Tom's hat, though. I'm a Chiefs fan, so
you're happy today.
Okay, but before you go too far with that, yes, it's a Packer hat, but what color is it?
It's white. What do you?
Pink.
It's pink.
Is it? Oh,
yes. Breast cancer awareness.
Okay.
You got to
right,
like at least half of it.
Kudos for that. I'll give you that.
And you're a Chiefs fan. I am a diehard Packer fan, but I do love the Chiefs. I love Patrick Mahomes. I love Andy Reid. Travis Kelce, I can take or leave, especially his girlfriend.
Agreed.
That whole thing, it's not football. I don't care.
Agreed.
But yeah, it's become more of the show than the football itself. But I love the Chiefs. I absolutely.
Did you watch the game Thursday night?
I did. I watched most of it. I was doing trivia at Brewski's, and they didn't have it on there. I got home at halftime, and then I watched the last of it, and I did not see the last play. I don't know how
really?
I missed it.
Oh,
I did see it on. I saw it on replay.
I watched it again last night because I had taped it. I'm like, I just got to see that again. You feel bad for the other team. I mean, by a toe. I mean, Baltimore just brought it. So
what I really feel bad about is Isaiah Likely, the guy that caught it. He likely caught it, but he didn't. Anyway,
he caught it.
He caught it, but his toe was whatever.
Yeah.
He throws the ball up, and it was this elation that makes the NFL, and I loved it. It was a great moment, whether you're rooting for the Chiefs or whatever. And then all of a sudden,
and then they were going to go for 2 points. Did you see that?
Yeah, they were going for the win.
It was like, oh, dude.
No, I saw him. I saw John Harbaugh put up the 2 sign. Yes.
Yeah,
and that would have been just.
They could have still lost. I mean, you just don't know.
They could have. But John Harbaugh is a good enough coach. You got Lamar Jackson back there. Let him run around. All he's got to do is get 2 yards. That's all he's got to do. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
with a running quarterback like that, you're right. Okay, I digress. I know I should talk about my agency.
No. We can. There's plenty of time for that. So how about the? Okay.
It's an awesome, exciting start to the NFL season. Both games were really, really good. High scoring anyway. So gives both all four fan bases something to get excited about.
Right.
Because we just saw possibly the 4 best teams in the NFL play already, and very, very not highly likely, but likely that those are the 4 you'll see in the AFC and NFC championship games. So
that wouldn't be so bad. I wouldn't mind that at all. I was very disappointed with the fact that they put 2. I don't think Green Bay and Philly is a rivalry, but definitely Baltimore and Kansas City. Now I realize it was a replay, a reboot of last year's AFC championship game. But when you do that in the beginning of the season, it's like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
And for my next trick, I guess regular NFL games. So
you got to play Jacksonville.
Nail biter. It wasn't a definitive. I mean, it was a nail biter. So
it was. No, you're right,
those
Greg.
Games,
and you're right.
You put another minute on the clock, and who knows what could happen.
Absolutely. No, you're both right. It was a really good game, and it was a great way to start the NFL. But did we peak too early? That's my question. So
yeah.
The rest of the season, hopefully, will be just as good.
Yeah.
This is the NFL, Tom. We have not peaked at all. No, there's so much more to come. Much more to come. Well, hey, I guess since we've had Julie on to talk football, maybe we should just digress just a little bit and talk about.
I'm done.
The United
That's all I got.
River Valley. Tell us really quick before we get into that about yourself, where you grow up, and a little bit of career arc, how you found yourself running the United Way here locally.
Yeah. So I'm a Midwest girl. I was born in Michigan, moved down to Rockford, but really grew up in St. Louis. We left here when I was about 7, and I came back after my college years. So, and thought I'd be here for a little while and move around, and I've been here. So, loving the United Way. I worked for another nonprofit for 28 years in the disability movement, and but found my way to the United Way, and I'm loving it because it's so all encompassing with the community. And we get to do things that touch every segment of the community, as well as support just some amazing organizations in this, and we serve all of Winnebago County. So in this county, in this arena. And so I'm just loving it. And one of our main initiatives right now is literacy. And today is a year today that we kicked it off. And it is just really the flywheel is starting to turn. So, and that's all about getting our little ones to read. We've got only about a third of our kids are reading at grade level by the end of grade 3. And that is a crisis, because if they're not reading by the end of grade 3, grade 4, all of the curriculum really starts to switch, about 3/4 of it, to reading to learn. So now you've got to be able to read that history book. You've got to read those math questions. You've got to be able to read. So it's huge. And that affects crime, poverty, our workforce. So people are really understanding what we're trying to do. And so we're infusing dollars into great organizations that are already on the front line, that are boots on the ground and are working with our children. And we're just adding literacy or enhancing what they're doing. And it's really starting to resonate with people. But and that's not all. The United Way supports, we have a 211 crisis hotline that anybody can call 24/7 for any type of resource in the community, from housing to shelter to food to just anything, daycare slots. And then that also supports 988, which is the crisis line for mental health. So, which used to be the suicide hotline. We also support Strong Neighborhoods, trying to help our neighborhoods, by infusing organizations right into the communities where folks need the most opportunities and options. And then we also support the FEMA dollars that come into Winnebago County that a lot of people don't know about. It's emergency food and shelter program. And so we administrate all of that. So we got a lot of stuff going on, but
a lot of programs.
Yeah. Lots of things that we support. Yeah.
UnitedWayRRV.org would be a great place to go to see more about that. And I should be able to put that in our chat here real quick. Okay. So you said you were with another organization for 28 years before United Way. Which one was that?
Yeah, I was with RAM, Center for
Independent.
Yeah. Really grew up there. I used to work. Remember John Beck?
Oh yeah. I personally know John. Well, knew. Yeah.
Great guy. And he taught me everything about disability, and how to live it and how to, so yeah, loved working with him and started there right out of grad school. It was like one of my first gigs, and just loved working with John. So yeah, nice. I was there for 28 years.
So a lot of folks are first introduced to United Way because their company has an initiative, and they're like, hey, would you like to give from each paycheck a portion of your pay to United Way? And they usually give you an option of a dollar figure or percentage or something like that, and that's been going on for years and years. Are you also involved in like the city? Is the United Way and the city like government or anything like that connected in any way, shape, or form?
No, everything we do is private dollars. And I've actually even said to the mayor, it's like, I'll never come to you and ask for money. I really hope I can hold that true. We really want to bring dollars in, infuse dollars that aren't typically here. And it's really kind of our niche to be in companies and to ask individuals for that $1, $2, $5 a paycheck, because nobody else is asking them. When we're on a manufacturing floor, when we're in a Rockford Toolcraft, or out at a big one like Woodward, or small, we're in credit unions, and we're all over the place. And those individuals don't normally get asked, or they only have, 30, 50, $100 to give, which is amazing. And so that's really been our niche. And the United Way has done that. We're actually the parent organization is started in 1887, and locally we started in 1920. So we've been around for 104 years. And so yeah, and it is interesting, because what that does is it really impresses upon us. We have to really be able to explain our story to folks, because And our story is everybody else's story, right? Because our value add is we are supporting other organizations and we're supporting initiatives in the community. So we're trying to infuse additional dollars into that and get everybody rowing in the same direction. Excuse me. So we're a collaborator, we're a convener, like with our, and that, yeah, you're showing that right there, that
Yeah.
we go out and we say, okay, this is a huge issue in our community and we want to help solve it. So, i.e. literacy. And then we raise the dollars. We talk to those nonprofits about who can help, who wants to do this. We fund them, we measure the impact, and the whole thing starts again. So that is our value add. And I'll tell you right now, when I was on the other side, when you're an organization, you're like, is that a value add? You get on this side, you're like, oh yeah, because we bring them together. We make sure they're working together. We've got, the library is training the staff at the YWCA. And, those are the connections we're making. All the daycare centers of the YWCA, we're bringing books to them. Right now, we're starting a new program. It's not new. We're bringing it to our community. It's called Reach Out and Read. And it was developed in Boston 35 years ago. And it's what that does is it brings the whole literacy initiative to the doctor's offices, to family care practices, to the pediatrician's office, so that when those families come in for their well child visits from birth to 5, and they do anywhere from like 11 to 16 visits, depending on things. And that doctor or that nurse or that PA is telling them or asking them, hey, are you reading to your kid? By the way, here's your free book. And is kind of using it as a diagnostic tool and a way to just share with that family how important reading to their child is. So we get to do things like that. And who's bringing that together? The Junior League is helping to inventory the books and get them out to the clinics. And we've talked to Alignment Rockford about helping us with the lobbies and maybe doing story time. So we bring people to the situation to help to just address it in the best way possible, if that makes sense.
Is there a scheduled monthly or quarterly or annual meeting between the United Way and some of the local other not-for-profits that you work most closely with? I could see, like Northwest Community Center and stuff like that, meeting with you on a regular basis to kind of say, hey, where are we needed most right now?
Absolutely. We bring all of the organizations that we're working with. Again, I know I keep saying literacy, but it's just top of mind today. So we bring them all together at least quarterly, and we tell them what each other's doing, or they tell each other what each other's doing. They talk about, oh, hey, if you're doing that, we can do this. And we just bring them together to make sure that they are working together, that we're creating, the nonprofit community gets accused of being in silos, and it does happen, right?
Oh, sure.
And so we want to get them out of their silos. Yes, we know you're doing daycare. Yes, we know you're doing after school. Yes, we know you're doing this, but you guys, there's some synergies together. And so we love to make 1 + 1 = 5, and bringing all those organizations together at least quarterly is something that, we're very passionate about that, as well as we go out to them. And our director of community impact, Jessica Sparrow, is doing her rounds right now in September. She did it in June. She's doing it again. And just getting out there. And again, are you doing, how are you doing it? What things are you running into that we can help with? Sometimes organizations are like, don't show your blemishes. It's like, no, we want to see them because we can help with that. Or we might know somebody else that can help you with that. You're having a hard time getting families to your family literacy night. Oh, this daycare center has, this location they can, so we're constantly trying to connect the dots for folks.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hey, this is a fun way to do it too. Look at that. I'm playing with screens now.
I love it.
Yeah.
What if I do this? What with this? Oh, look at that. That's even fun too.
You're giving me a headache.
Thank you, Restream. Always doing new things. Some of it's not so good lately, but this is good. I like this.
So Greg, that shows a lot of we are all over social media, which obviously, because we're trying to get that message out. Read to your children. Reading 20 minutes a day to a child, it might be a heavy burden for a family. It will change the trajectory of their lives. So we've had some really cool partnerships. I know you mentioned earlier Rivets. So we were out at the Rivets games this summer and did a lot of interaction with them. One of them, which I'm hoping you have, do you have Dolly Parton? Can you bring that up? If not, I've got the QR code if people can. So
Is
anybody
it on this page? Because this is the
it
literacy
should
page.
be, yeah. But if anybody wants to scan this QR code,
Imagination Station right there.
yeah, there you go.
Imagination Library.
Yep. So Dolly Parton started that in her hometown. What is it, Pigeon Forge or something, Tennessee?
Mhm.
And because she just, she was dirt poor, literally grew up in a house with dirt floors. And so she understood the value of education and so on. So anyway, we signed up with them. And between us and the state of Illinois, it's 50-50. We buy those books or we pay for those books. So any family, any person, you could even be a grandparent in Winnebago County, can sign up for free for their children from birth to age 5. The last book they get is Kindergarten, Here I Come. So, and every month they will get a book sent to their home. And so it's just a way for us to help increase home libraries. And again, it's free to the family. You just go out and sign up. It takes about 2 to 3 months for the system to catch up. But yeah, thanks for putting it in there.
Yeah.
It's a fabulous, fabulous program. And then monthly, we also send out via email, because we have the parents' email. We just send out tips and tricks, and we will never ask those families for money. We will, if they want to support us, yay. But that's not the intent. The intent is to just flood the community with books. And since we started a year ago, this past year, as of June 30th, I have the number, 63,254 books that we bought or supported. And this year alone, we're on track to probably that'll hit 80,000 or more. One of our newest partners, we just met with them this week, and we hope it's going to work out, is CASA. So those children that are going through the court system or have an advocate assigned to them, those advocates, we really want to arm them or provide them with books. So when they go to meet with the children, they've got something, again, a gift to give them, both, to show I care, but also a gift of education and reading and help those children have a chance at life. If you're educated, the world opens up to you. So
that is absolutely true. So and kudos to the Rivets for teaming up with you guys. And
you might hear about another partnership with a specific hockey team coming up. So so we're really excited about, I'm just going to tell you. Okay. So we're partnering with the Ice Hogs. I'm just going to tell you. And we're
Julie can't keep a secret.
I know, I'm terrible. September 24th, we're going to do a press conference with it. But December 14th, I think is the day. It just changed this week. We're going to have family literacy night with the Ice Hogs. And it's going to be a kids takeover. So they're going to be doing the hockey puck drop. They're going to be doing the run through the tunnel, everything. The kids are going to be doing it. But it's all about literacy. And we're just going to have books. And it's just going to be a great night. So, yeah.
Julie, I was going to say, you were talking about reading for 20 minutes a day with your kids. There's a couple of other benefits to that. The most obvious benefit is the reading and you're learning and this and that. It's just the quiet time with mom or dad. My daughters, I have 3 kids, 2 daughters and a son, in that order. My oldest daughter, we started this reading thing, Dr. Seuss books, whatever, when she was about 4 or 5, or maybe even earlier than that, I don't know. Yeah. And it really did forge a real bond between her and I. We knew that she would bring the book. Daddy, is it time to read? Yes, it is. Let's go. Yep. And, half time I'd fall asleep and she'd fall asleep on my arm or whatever. And it was just, those are precious, precious moments. So it's not just about the 20 minutes of reading. It's about the 20 minutes of daddy-daughter time or mommy-daughter time, mother-son, whatever. And my son, he didn't really like to read. So we never did that. We did other things,
100%. But anyway. I appreciate you bringing that up because a couple things, you can start reading to your kids as babies. First time I met one of my nephews, my sister-in-law got up in the middle of the night with him and she's reading to him. I'm like, what? It's a baby. No, that you can even read in utero. The other thing is,
yes, that's very, very important. You're right.
Yeah. And even like your son, if they're just playing on the floor or something, you can sit there and read to them. They're taking it all in. And so these are the things I'm starting to learn. But and even because if you check and you read and you like skip a page or something, they'll be like, oh, hey, you skipped a page, and you think they're not paying any attention, and they're paying 100% attention.
I
My
know the story,
son-
Dad. You skipped something.
My
Yeah.
son is a whole lot like me. He's ADS for both ADS, attention deficit squirrel. And that's not an exaggeration. It really is. I'm so easily distracted.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was struggling in third grade. You mentioned third and fourth grade. That transition is huge.
Huge.
And he was struggling a little bit in third grade. So they suggested maybe we should hold him back. He has a little bit of dyslexia. He's smart as a whip. He's a very smart kid.
Usually
But he
are.
really
Yeah.
had difficulty with reading. So I was working nights. I decided to homeschool him. I homeschooled him for most of his time all the way up through high school. He went back into the public school a couple of times. School was never really for him, but he really, really flourished. We did the homeschool thing, and I had the big giant whiteboard. I mean, big, really big, in my living room, and I had posters of maps and the ABCs and all of that. We had such a great time. But the greatest thing that came about from all of that was the bonding time. And it was so awesome. We still talk about it to this day. He's 32 years old, and he's my best friend. And we are going to Green Bay next weekend. My son, myself, my two grandsons that are in the toy room sleeping. We're going to be there for 4 days. So Gregor's next week, I will be in Appleton, Wisconsin doing the show. But anyway, so it's so very, very important. The reading is important, but my son learned so much more how to read, and he never really became a great reader, but he learned so much more through all of those efforts. So it's a combined effort. Do whatever you have to do.
The bonding time is huge. And
Yes.
the other thing is, you don't have to sit on a couch and read a book. You can, while you're driving them to school, while you're driving to Walmart, read the signs, have them read the signs, read the can as you're making dinner if you don't have time. I know families are stretched for time, and there's very creative ways there's words all around us. Just read them to them, talk, narrate your day, so now I'm going to make dinner. Now I'm pulling out the pan. Talk, just words are just huge, and have them repeat to you. So,
Well, we've already broken news today. So we're really, really, I think the last question I normally ask people, I don't need to ask. Is there anything we didn't ask you? You already dropped us the knowledge about the ice hogs.
I didn't plan on it, but I don't think it doesn't matter. It's a great thing, and I'm glad we shared it. So
we're very excited about that. United Way of Rock River Valley. We've got the link in the chat so you can follow along and see what they're doing on their Facebook page and all their social media, and on their website as well. You guys keep a wonderful website up to date. So thank you for being on today. Don't go anywhere. We're bringing Tracy on now to talk about our next subject. But before we get to her subject, we do have some Tom trivia to attack today. So Tracy, from the Rocksurfers, welcome to the show, Tracy.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
Rocksurfers. I love that. What was
doing something special coming up? So we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But
what was the name of the other band?
Hang 10.
Hang 10. There you go. Ooh, Hang 10.
I haven't seen your Hang 10 group yet, but Rocksurfers. Wow, really, really good. You got a good group there.
I'm so busy.
Where are you at?
Hang 10 will be at Mortimer's tonight from 5 to 9. So if you have to check us out, we'll be there tonight.
All right.
I will be doing a trivia event tonight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Speaking of trivia, before we let Julie go, let's test her knowledge and our knowledge. We'll try to help her.
Okay. Question number one is a warm-up. When was the United Way founded?
1887.
1887.
Yep. In what city?
Denver, Colorado.
Woo! Yes. She's already beating you guys 1-0. That didn't work. It worked in rehearsal. That didn't work there. Let me try that one more time. That was good. They had good trajectory and all that. All right, here we go. All right. Question number one. Anybody play Scrabble?
Been a while.
If you combine the point values for the letters LOVE, my homage to Jordan Love, what will be your total?
Ooh.
Love, Love. If you combine the point values for the letters Love, what will be your total?
Somewhere around 14, but I'm not sure if I'm right.
I was going to say 15.
Tracy, you're up.
No idea.
No idea? Throw out a number less than 14 or 15.
13.
7.
A lot less. Oh, 7 it is.
Oh!
An L is 1.
7.
An O is 1. A V is 4, and E is 1.
I knew all.
Answer.
I knew the
ones
vowels would be
were
with one.
ones, but I thought the V would be worth more.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
I did too. I double checked it. It was anyway.
Good job, Tracy.
All right. All right. In what year was the official ratification of the United Nations? Was it 1945 or 1948?
Ratification of the United Nations?
Yeah, but basically, when did they begin?
Because World War II ended around what, 44?
44, 45, yeah.
Probably 48 before they actually got their organization together.
Yeah.
I'm leaning
And
towards
Tracy, what say you?
I'll agree with Greg.
Okay, it was just minutes after the war ended, 1945.
Really?
Oh.
Literally, they met like within a few days or a month or whatever. But it was real quick. It was 1945.
Okay.
All righty. Here we go. I'm trying to. Oh, you know what? Here's a good one. Speaking of reading, on this day, and it wasn't really. These are old questions from last week. On this day, we could go. This English author wrote the book Peter Rabbit for a 5-year-old boy. What was the author's name?
Oh.
His son's name was Peter, but wasn't it? Didn't he name it after his son?
Well,
Beast
the author was a
Or no?
female. The author was.
Andrews?
Oh,
Beatrix Potter.
You didn't Google that, did you?
No.
You got it. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding you.
That just came to me in a flash.
Beatrix-
I played Farmer Greg or Farmer Saunders in our school play in 3rd grade when we did Peter Rabbit.
Oh, really?
Get out of my garden! Stop eating my carrots!
And now you're that get off my lawn guy, right? All right. If you're a fan of the Golden Girls, you'll like this. In which city did the Golden Girls call home?
Miami.
I know it's Florida, but
Miami.
They even said a song about it. Miami. They wrote it for a jingle for one of the episodes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were trying to win a contest. I don't remember what it was, but
Okay.
how
Julie,
useless is that? How useless
Julie,
is
don't take this wrong, but I think you need a hobby. All right. Couple more. I've lost track, so whatever. All right. This is trivia math.
Oh.
You're gonna have to use your pen. All right. Put these 3 items together for your answer. The number of players on the field in an NFL football game, the number of days in a fortnight, and the number of days the Beatles said, "Ooh, I need your love, babe."
okay. A fortnight isn't a fortnight 1 week or 2 weeks?
Well, don't ask me. You tell me.
I'm asking Julie and Tracy. if they can
Okay,
remember.
all right.
That was the one that was stumping me. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like,
I think
because it's 8 days of the week, right, for the Beatles.
and there's 22 players on the field. 11
No.
for each team.
No,
No,
let me
one
read it
team.
again. The number of players on the field for one team in an
One
NFL
team.
football game.
So 11.
Here we go.
So 11 plus 8 plus.
So 19 plus a fortnight. I'm gonna say a fortnight is 2 weeks and it's 14 days.
And then what would your answer be?
25 plus 8 is 30.
33.
Yes, 33 is the right answer.
Good job, Greg. You knew the fourth.
Yes. All right. Final question. I actually have 2 more, but I'll do one more because
Before we get to your final question, quick last reminder. We're in the final call stages for the first ever, the inaugural masked karaoke trivia contest happening October 17th at Hilton Garden Inn here in Rockford. Your team playing for $1,000 prize for your favorite not-for-profit. and you need a team of people who can do trivia and or karaoke, because both will be part of this contest. And this will be one of the most fun, entertaining events you will ever attend and possibly participate in. Come and join us October 17th. Get your team together now, because we only have room for 10 teams. We only have room for 10 teams, and they're almost all filled up. So if you want to participate in this event, you don't have to have 8 people per team, but you can have up to 8 people on your team. And as long as you've got someone who sings and someone who knows a little trivia, you got a shot at the $1,000 grand prize. There will be other prizes given as well. So come on out and join us October 17th. Let us know right away if you want to participate in this event, because we are right down to the wire as far as selling this thing out for all 10 teams being spoken for. All right, Tom, final question.
Final question. This is for all the marbles right here. All the marbles right here.
I love marbles. I like
All
marbles.
right. Donna Summer sings one of her classics called Hot Stuff in this company's newest summer campaign called Grills Night Out. For which company is this? Grill as in flipping burgers, not girls' night, grills night. So once again, Donna Summer sings one of her classics, Hot Stuff, in this company's newest summer campaign called Grills Night Out. What is being advertised?
Weber, maybe?
Weber
What'd
Grills,
you say?
Burger King. Burger King is the one thing that, they always promote how they are flame broiled burgers on the grill and stuff. So, but I can't remember a commercial with.
I can't either with Donna Summers.
All right, I'm going to give you one hint. They also have another song playing in a separate commercial, Oh, What a Night, December 63. And Bobby Flay is also doing a commercial as well. They're all three advertising the same thing.
Well, that rules out Burger King then.
Yeah. Or as somebody called it, Bobby Filet.
Bobby Filet.
Bobby Filet.
Boy,
Omaha Steaks.
what would they high end do with?
Grills of Summer. Grills of
You
Summer.
would think with him he'd be a restaurant, but probably not, or a hotel chain, or bars, or.
It could be a soft drink, maybe.
A soft drink?
It could be.
Maybe.
What?
Is it like Coke or Pepsi or something?
It's Pepsi Cola.
Really?
Pepsi Cola, yeah. All right, let's end on this. What is the capital of Portugal? I want you guys to end on a positive note here. What is the capital of Portugal? Poor Greg. He's putting his head down.
No idea.
I'm putting my head down because my daughter is there right now on her.
Oh, jeez.
Do you know then?
I don't. I can't remember it.
All right, Greg. What is Greg Saunders' middle name? I'm letting him end up on a positive.
D-U-F-U-S. Doofus.
Well, when they used to tackle me on the
Sao Paulo
schoolyard,
thing.
when they used to tackle me on the schoolyard, they would write doofus on my forehead, and it was D-O-O-F-U-S. So I don't know. No, Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Well, I know. I thought you do that because of the Green Bay thing.
Oh.
And you threw out Portugal. It's like, what?
Yeah.
I can't think of a single city name in the country of Portugal right now.
I know.
Lisbon,
Portugal.
Lisbon, Portugal.
Learn
Yep.
something new every day.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I appreciate your attempt to try to let us end on a positive note. Well, we're going to end on a positive note anyway, because Tracy can sing, and she's with the Rocksurfers, and I might ask her to bust out a tune. I don't know.
I need your love.
Julie,
Let's do a duet here.
Julie, if you have any team suggestions for our October 17th karaoke
I was writing
tribute,
some stuff down. Yeah, I will.
let me know, because this is last. I'm seriously last call.
Okay.
We only have room for 10 teams, and 5 have already paid. And there's another of 4 or 5 that said they're going to play, but they haven't gotten their payment in yet. It's only $160 to sign up for a team date.
Okay.
So it's extremely cheap to play. And then there's another possibility to make money for your not-for-profit before you even go to the contest. So I need to make sure that they understand how that works, and we need to have a little chat about that. So hopefully we can connect this week about that, Julie.
Thank you. Thanks again for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right.
Absolutely.
Good job on trivia.
I'm running the karaoke part of that, so it's gonna be fun.
Oh,
All right.
Tracy right here. So
All
yes.
right. Very good. And I'm running the trivia part of it. I promise none of those questions will be on it. They'll be fairly easy questions.
Have a great weekend, Julie. We'll talk to you soon.
thanks. Bye, guys.
All right.
There
Bye,
goes
Julie.
Julie with the United Way of Rock River Valley. And Tracy, yeah, the Rocksurfers, before we get to into all things Eagles Club and stuff, tell us a little bit about where did you grow up and how did you find yourself in Rockford? Let's start there at the beginning.
Oh, wow, that's a journey. I grew up in Carpentersville, so I was born in Chicago, but grew up in Carpentersville, Illinois.
Home of Styx, is that right?
Styx
band?
I don't know if they were in Carpentersville, but they're definitely a Chicago garage band for sure.
Okay.
But like I said, I grew up in Carpentersville. My journey to Rockford took me all over the place. I went to the American Conservatory of Music in Chicago for college, and I like couch hopped for a little bit while I was going to school. My mom moved to Michigan at that time, and I was 18, so I was on my own. But then I've lived in Joliet, I've lived in Marengo. I mean, I've lived in a lot of areas in Illinois. But then my high school sweetheart and I reconnected, and I moved out to California to be with him. Was there for about a year and a half. And then we had to move back to Illinois because it is way expensive in Illinois. Or in California. It is like super
crazy place.
expensive.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And so we moved back to Illinois, and we were in Marengo. We lived in a motorhome for about a year and a half in Marengo. And then just looking for jobs in the area, Rockford opened up to my husband to work in Rockford. So that's how we moved out here to Rockford. And when it comes to the Rocksurfers, I was working for a chiropractor, and one of our patients was the guitar player for the Rocksurfers. And he just invited me to come and see one of their shows. They were playing at a charity event for the man who used to own Al's Carpet. He had, I think, Lou Gehrig's disease or something like that.
He did,
and there was a charity event for him at the carpet store of all places. But he just walked up and he said, "Hey, do you want to hear my band play?" And of course, I mean, I've been a musician since I could walk and talk. I mean, I've been singing since I was 4 years old. So yeah, I want to check out your band. And I thought he was going to whip out a recording and start playing some music. But then he invited me to the show, and now I'm like, oh no. That means I have to go now. I was one of those, because when it comes to a patient-doctor kind of a relationship, you got to kind of walk that fine line sometimes, So I was like, ooh, am I on the hook now? But I was like, I'm going to go. I'm not the doctor. I'm just the office staff, So I'll go check it out. And my husband and I went to the show, and he was the only person I knew there. He was it. So I'm sitting there on the side. Of course, I'm singing along to every song they're playing. And he eventually invited me to come on stage with them. And I sang a few songs with them. And that was kind of like my audition. And I didn't even know it.
You're in.
So after that,
you're in.
Yeah, he called me like about a couple weeks later. And he says, "Hey, we want you to join our band." Because I told him, I'm like, if you ever need me to come and sing with you, you just let me know. The stage is where I live. I love being on stage. So he was like, okay, call me in a couple weeks. He's like, "We want you to join the band." I'm like, okay.
Wow.
And that was almost 9 years ago. So yeah, we've been together for quite a while.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you've got a great group. They sound so good. And there's such a variety of music that your group plays. Al and Barb from Al's Carpet were huge instrumental in crowd for years. And this is wild that you bring this up, because the night before Al passed, he was at an in-crowd networking group event, and we had a blast. He had a fun time. His last night on earth was a night on earth with the in-crowd folks, and had a great time just hanging with all the people he'd known, a lot of people he'd known for years. And we knew he was going through a rough time, and we know that it was the diagnosis was not good, but nobody knew he was going to pass away that quickly.
I was going to say that sounded kind of sudden.
Well, he was in a motorized wheelchair to do anything at that point, And we had a really good time that night, and we were all, smiling, thankful that Al's last night on Earth was spent with a bunch of in-crowd folks that he cherished, and we just had a good time together. So the Eagles Club, you've been doing karaoke at the Eagles Club for a while now, right?
Yeah, almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years this November.
And they're hosting this event that we're going to put up on the screen now, the Veteran Suicide Prevention Benefit, which is 1 week from today. It's an afternoon gig, 2 to 4. So I know you're not running the gig itself, but your band is playing there. What can you tell us about it?
Well, if this is a ride as well. I believe the motorcycle ride starts earlier in the morning.
Okay.
I don't know much about the whole charity event itself. I know that we're playing from 2 to 4 when everybody gets back. So they're doing a motorcycle ride first, and then they're going to show up like right around 2 o'clock. And that's when we're going to start. We're going to be in the middle room at the Eagles Club. There's like 3 different rooms in the club itself, the main bar, and then there's a middle room, and then there's a banquet hall. We're going to be in that middle room on the stage there playing from 2 to 4, just, to celebrate the ride and make sure everything went well. And it's a fundraiser as well. So people that come, they can donate to this event, so that I think there's going to be like a 50-50 raffle at one point. There's going to be food and Rocksurfers fun.
And it is a lot of fun. Pretty much every song you play, people know and want to sing along and dance. And when I went and saw you guys over at Shattered Saloon a few weeks ago, and I'm sitting in the back with a former neighbor of mine, and my wife walks in. And at that moment in time, just hear me out before I say this and offend somebody. At that moment in time, I look at my wife and I look around the room and I said, I think we might be the youngest couple here. There are a lot of older folks jamming to your music, to the oldies and 60s and 70s music that you guys are jamming to.
That was going to be my question. What 60s, 70s, 80s, something like that? Because I'm a huge 70s nerd when it comes to music and history and everything else. So I will make it a point to get out and see you guys. Can't do it next Saturday. I'll be in Green Bay.
Yes, he will.
Yeah.
Yes, he will.
Well, we're actually going to be at Shattered Saloon again on September 21st from 7 to 11, because it's actually my husband's birthday party that day. Woo. We are also going to be celebrating my keyboard player, Mike Mastriani. He has been in bands or making music for 60 years. So we're going to be celebrating that. I know, it's crazy. We're going to be celebrating that as well. And we're so there's going to, and Clutch Cargo was one of the bands he was in, and the Clutch Cargo band is going to be playing with us. So it is going to be an amazing event. It's going to be a packed house. So get there early.
60 years of Mike's music and Ron Matzke's birthday party, which I think he's double nickels if I didn't hear correctly.
Yeah, he's going to be 55. Yeah, his actual birthday is the 24th, but we're going to celebrate on the 21st because it's a Saturday.
Close enough. And Shattered Saloon's a bigger place than you think. If you drive by it and you look at it and go, that looks like a small place. Once you walk in, you're like, whoa, there's a lot of space.
It's very big. It is very big.
It's long like a bowling alley. It's like it's from one end of the building to the other. So yeah, there's a lot of room in there. They're going to have to put more tables and chairs in there for sure. There's going to be a lot of people at this event. So it's going to be a great time.
Well, let me ask you this before we let you go. For those who may be participating in our masked karaoke trivia contest, October 17th, if they want to do a little karaoke rehearsal brush up with you at the Eagles Club, you're doing that Friday night still?
Every Friday night from 7 to 11. And actually, my son is running the show now. Yeah. He's loving it. And he is so much fun. He's a lot more fun than I am.
Well,
the apple didn't fall far, but he is so much fun. He's very interactive. He absolutely is having a blast running the show. So please go see him every Friday from 7 to 11. If you're not a member, you just have to sign the guest book. And he would love to see you guys. And he sings too. So he's really enjoying it. So I'm kind of turning the reins over to him to do it.
The apple didn't far fall from the tree. He's very encouraging. He's just a bright personality, a lot of fun. So really, it was when we walked in that one night there to do some karaoke, and he was running the show. It was like, okay, I hope he's good. Oh my gosh, he was so much fun.
So much fun.
Very, very good. Did a very good job. So our queen of karaoke and her prince, son, do a great job. October 17th. Again, we're looking forward to our big contest out at Hilton Garden Inn. I don't know yet if any tickets to this event are actually going to be made available to the public, because the way this event is structured, the not-for-profits that are being represented, they have the first dibs on acquiring tickets for the audience and selling them to their supporters. So just so everyone's completely aware what's going on with this event, we may or may not be making tickets available to the general public for this event. Hopefully I'll know by this time next week. By this time in 2 weeks, I'll know for sure. But as of right now, we just don't know yet if tickets will be available to the public. So all that to say, you still have time to get a team into this event, and then have access to those audience tickets that will be there to vicariously play the trivia along with the teams that are playing, and vicariously sing along to the karaoke songs that'll be performed as well. We're going to also have a karaoke knockout round after the trivia karaoke contest. So by the time the night's all over, we'll probably have heard in 24-ish songs, 25 songs or so, along with the trivia that we're doing. So it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Really looking forward to it.
I can't wait. I'm so excited about this event.
Going to be a blast. Anything else we didn't ask you about today before we let you go? I think we covered most of the bases pretty well.
Well, I did want to mention when you guys were talking about the literacy with United Way, and I used to read to my son as well when he was little. And when he was 2 years old, he was reading Green Eggs and Ham all on his own because that was his favorite book. And I used to read it to him so much that he would read it to me when he was 2. It was amazing. And I used to also sing to him at night when I put him to bed. Yeah. I used to sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, that's the same tune as the alphabet song. So then I would sing ABCs. And it got to the point where he'd get in bed and he'd go, Mommy, ABC song, ABC song. And he would sing it with me. So reading is a very important thing to do with your kids, but so is singing too. There's words and songs. So
exactly.
It's a lot easier for them to remember those things too. And look at him now. Now, I mean, he loves to read. Oh my God, he's read so many books. He's read the entire Harry Potter series a couple times, I think. The Hobbit and all those Tolkien books. I mean, he's just a nut for reading. So yeah.
That's good.
Well, since Joanne did not get logged in, let's let Tracy play for Joanne this week.
All right. Sounds good.
For our big number of the week. And let's do it. Here we go. Our current race to 10 has Joanne leading by a score of 9-3. So Tracy, you could possibly win our race to 10 for Joanne this week. That's how serious this is.
Wow, you're like the relief pitcher here. You can bring it home for a win.
That's right.
Wow.
Right. 1.5 million is the big number, and the answer this week is it championship or chicken wings? Championship or chicken wings? You need a guess. Give it to me, please. 3, 2, 1, go.
Chicken wings.
You're going with the chicken wings. Okay. So
did I.
You also went with the chicken wings. So either you both scored or you both did not. So we go to the World Black Pudding Throwing Championships, which are scheduled for tomorrow in Ramsbottom, Greater Manchester, England. I'm not making this up. This is a real thing. Ramsbottom, Greater Manchester, England. This annual event is held outside the Royal Oak Pub on Bridge Street. We've talked about this on the show in the past. We actually have brought this up before. It involves competitors attempting to dislodge a large Yorkshire pudding placed on a 20-foot high scaffold by throwing smaller puddings. The smaller puddings about the size of hockey pucks.
Oh my Lord.
This is hilarious.
Sounds like a colossal waste of food.
Right.
But it is Yorkshire pudding, so it's okay.
This emphasizes the fact that food in England sucks. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
The event is rich in history. Local legend suggests it dates back to the War of the Roses in the year 1455. Soldiers supposedly ran out of ammunition and started throwing food at each other.
Good fight.
Wow.
They revived this competition in the 1980s. It's become a very popular tradition, and that is not the answer. The answer is chicken wings. We're going to give Joanne the victory thanks to Tracy this week.
Wow.
Chicago, we might back the score off a point and restart next week. And
No, just don't worry about it. Let's restart now next week. I'm good. Yeah.
Did you
got
see
my
this
butt
in the
thoroughly
news?
kicked.
A Chicago area school district's food service director has been sentenced to 9 years for stealing $1.5 million worth of chicken wings.
Oh my Lord.
She ordered and took over 11,000 cases of wings that were meant for remote learning students who still received meals during the COVID thing. That pushed the district's annual food service costs $300,000 over budget. And she stole $1.5 million worth of chicken wings.
What would she have done with them?
Right? That's one hell of a block
can't
party.
eat. Yeah, exactly. You can't eat $1.5 million worth of chicken wings.
I can only guess this woman resold them on the market and then made money that way.
You know what? Maybe she had a block party, like Tracy said, or maybe what she did was she set up shop somewhere and sold them, like a food truck type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we combine it with the story about the pudding throwing championships, maybe you throw chicken wings at fully cooked rotisserie chickens with 20-foot poles to try to dislodge them from the 20-foot long scaffolding. That would be a watchable competition,
right?
Also a colossal waste of food.
Yes.
Hey, let's end on a good note. And here's a good note. Boxwood Events is going to be, they have been sponsored by Medicare 411 to provide an elaborate charcuterie table at our October 17th mass karaoke trivia contest party there. So the people who are there participating and in the audience will be able to sample from one of the 815 area's most elaborate, beautiful, and tasty charcuterie tables that they're ever set their eyes on. And I want to thank Amy for partnering with us on that. And of course, Tracy at Medicare 411 for sponsoring this. So free food at the event, along with a cash bar to support what we're doing with Rockford Area Not-for-Profits October 17th. So one more time, the big flash of the logo up there. October 17th, Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest, a very special In Crowd 815 special event. All right, friends. Tom, do you want to hold overtime and talk a little Packers, or do you want to just let that go and talk next week when you're in?
Hi, I'm Tom. Have we met yet? That would be a yes.
We're gonna let Tracy go. Any final thoughts before we let you go this weekend, Tracy?
There's just an awful lot of mist-colored Bears paraphernalia behind him.
Oh, yeah, no, those are Bears. So, but they're dressed up in Packer, Here's one of my favorites right here.
So there you go.
There we go.
He's got a lot of Bears for being a Packers fan.
I do. My grandson, who is 7, he says, "Grandpa, you don't like the Bears, but why do you have so many Bears?" So, well, they're not the Chicago Bears. None of these Bears are from Chicago. They're all from the Goodwill or from the wherever. I don't know. I have about 600 stuffed animals, probably more than that. Probably a lot more.
I have a problem. I love crane games. I am a crane game junkie. and I have several stuffed animals and things that come from Crane games. One of
Oh,
which is actually a green teddy bear holding a football. It's not a Green
oh,
Bay teddy bear, but it's a green bear holding a green football.
listen, a lot of these things are made in these foreign countries where they have no concept of color schemes or this or that or
Right.
whatever. And some of them have like 3 eyes and 4 ears and stuff like that. It's like, what kind of malfunction was this from the
Right.
Island of Misfit Toys? Anyway, I used to do the Crane game thing too, and then it's you got it and you got it, and all of a sudden it just releases. It's like,
Yeah, they
no,
make those cranes. They
it's
make those
not.
claws so loose. It's
It's
ridiculous.
not supposed to work that way.
Yeah.
I
There's
spent
a
$6 for this 3-eyed little
Yeah.
bear.
You got to watch the YouTube videos on how to beat the Crane games. Apparently, there's tricks to it, but I
I
don't know if they're
saw
really
that.
true.
If it's
Yeah,
got
but
the little joystick, yeah, I saw that video. I'm like, I gotta try that.
but they frown on it when you break the glass and take one out.
Yeah, that's right.
That'll get you thrown out of most bowling alleys.
You find
Yeah.
a tiny child who can crawl in through the opening, and just
That's right.
It gets
And you
stuck.
have to explain to the police when he can't come back out.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened, sir.
They have a crane game
You're
at
right.
the
So
Eagles Club too.
they
They have
do.
what?
Yeah, they have a crane game at the Eagles Club. So every once in a while, I bartend there occasionally. So after my shift is over, I'll go sneak over there, put a few bucks in. I've come home with several animals from the
Greg,
Eagles.
can we get a wide shot of all of this here?
Can I get a wide shot? I can go like this.
Just a one hole shot. No, give me the one hole shot.
Oh, let's go here, and then we'll go here, right there. There we go.
There you go. There you go. There's okay. So you got the in crowd 815. I hate this mirror thing. In crowd 815. You got the Packer reserve parking, and then I'll get out of the way here. And so this gives you a good idea of what I've done here.
All the Bears.
We got the Packer, the little bottle cap thing. My son-in-law got that for me in New York. The Packer, of course, championship one. And then if we go up, you see my little guys up there, and then NIU Huskies, my little guys up there. And then way up there is my dad's tribute when he was in Korea. So that's my
what
wall.
the NIU Huskies are doing today, Tom?
Yeah, I know they're playing Notre Dame.
They're playing Notre Dame.
And here's the thing. I went to NIU, but I love Notre Dame. It's my absolute favorite football team, next to the Green Bay Packers, of course. So I'm going to have mixed feelings about this. I would love to see NIU look good, but I don't want them to win. I can't. Sorry, I can't.
I'm going to pretend you didn't say that, Tom. All right, let that go.
Yeah.
Tracy, hopefully we'll have some songs to get to here in a few weeks, and we'll be
Yes.
all ready for our October 17th karaoke trivia contest event. So,
And I'm going to
to
make you a qualified promise that I'll be there on the 21st.
Okay.
I've got such a crazy September going. So in a couple of weeks, I'm going to try to make it down there.
Well, we will have 2 different kinds of cakes. They do not have food at Shattered, but you can have food delivered or bring
Right.
your own in. But
Yeah.
we're going to have cake to celebrate the birthday and Mike, obviously.
Oh,
So
you had me at cake. We're good.
yeah,
We're good. I'm coming now.
it's going to be
All
fun.
right,
The Clutch
Tracy.
Cargo is going to be amazing. I can't wait to hear them play.
Yeah, that's
Well,
cool.
you have a great weekend and a great event next Saturday at the
Yeah.
Eagles Club.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
We'll see you. All right.
All right. Bonus
let's-
time.
Bonus time. Restream's done a few things, done a few updates recently that has changed some things. So I just want to apologize for anything that looks different from past shows today. Obviously, starting a couple minutes late was not on my plans either, but I'm very happy with the Restream platform overall. They just made some tweaks recently that made me have to do some things differently, and it's learning curve like anything else. So the Green Bay Packers traveled 10 hours by plane to go to Sao Paulo, Brazil, and play the Philadelphia Eagles. It was an Eagles home game,
Mm-hmm.
which I think they were supposed to have 9 home games this season, so they'll still have 8 in Philadelphia.
And here's the nice thing: Green Bay will have 9 because now they'll only have 7 road games. Because this one here was neutral field. Don't even consider it a road game, but it is. It's a road game for both teams. So
And
that game didn't come down to whether it was an Eagles home team or Green Bay.
No.
It didn't. That didn't matter. You're in a neutral field. You're in Sao Paulo, Brazil, for crying out loud. 3,000, 4,000 miles away, whatever it is. I don't know. Boy, I tell you what, I was not impressed with the officiating. I wasn't impressed with the Packers line until later in the game. I wasn't impressed with Jordan Love, and I wasn't impressed with the defense and their tackling.
Well, here's what I think about the defense. I'm encouraged by Hafley's attacking style of defense, and I know that they're going to pick up on they were playing one of the best teams in the NFL, the Philadelphia Eagles. For whatever you think about the end of their season last year, they are still one of the best teams in the NFL. So this was a great matchup.
Well, Philly upgraded. You got a Saquon Barkley, and do you know who Saquon Barkley replaced?
Who did he replace? Swift?
DeAndre Swift. And my comment was going to be exactly. It's like, well, okay, no big loss there. DeAndre Swift is good. He's with the Bears now, I believe. But Saquon Barkley, are you kidding me? He's good. He's very good. And the Packers can't seem to stop him. And I don't know why. This drives me nuts. Anyway, and then they got A.J. Brown. They had A.J. Brown anyway, but he's just an absolute stud. They've got wow. Yes, they are a good team. And they went head-to-head, toe-to-toe, and were leading later in the game in the third, maybe the early fourth quarter. I don't know.
Now that the Eagles have Barkley, you have to have linebackers that can shadow Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. You can't just focus on one of them. You have to focus on them both.
Exactly. And I thought we did a great job on Jalen Hurts last night. He did not kill us with his legs. Didn't really kill us with his arms.
His
arm. What's that?
He didn't ended up not scoring. I thought he was going to score a touchdown.
No, he didn't, but he had a couple of long passes. He had a couple of look, there were some very, very bad calls. It went both ways, but I think it hurt the Packers more because there were some phantom calls. That pass interference on Jair Alexander was just ridiculous. And what it did was it extended the drive. Not only did it extend the drive, it put them into Packer territory. You can't win when that kind of stuff happens. It was not on the refs. But they made some bad calls. And some of the going back to the Monday night, the Thursday night game. Why even bother having replay if you can't get it right? Now, I'm not talking about the one where his toes are on the line. That was amazing. Right.
There was
one other one that they had screwed up, and I can't remember where it was, where in the game, but I'm sorry. Let me back up. It was the last preseason game where Green Bay's quarterback, I want to say Michael Pratt at this time, was over the line. His entire body was over the line, and they said after further review, the call stands. It's turnover on downs. Yeah. That's what I was going to say. Getting a couple things mixed up. Anyway, next week is going to be epic. They're playing Indianapolis in Green Bay. I will be there, and I am so excited about this. I am absolutely ecstatic. I mean, just the idea of the whole trip, 4 days, my son, my grandsons, myself, it's going to be epic. And we better get a win.
Do the show Saturday? Are they going to be too amped up on well, of course it's Saturday, not Sunday when we do the show. So are they going to be okay with you doing the show from your phone or whatever you're doing it from?
Oh no, I'll be bringing my computer with me. I'll probably do it in the. I'll tell Matt to either bring the kids down to the lobby and get breakfast or whatever, or they'll just be in the thing. Maybe they'll be my co-hosts. Whatever, they'll be our co-hosts.
Where is my little cheat sheet here? Next week is In Crowd 815 networking group interview. So Alpine Body Shop is hosting our next In Crowd 815 networking group last Thursday of September. So Tina Johnson, who hosted an awesome In Crowd 815 event just a few years ago, is ready to host again, and she's got a wonderful place. What's really cool about being at a body shop like her shop there, if we happen to have kind of icky weather, there's a lot of indoor space. You huge garages and stuff. So even if it's a little
Cool.
drizzly, we're going to be just fine. And if it's not, she's got a huge parking lot, a huge area. She always has great food and beverages. So it's going to be a good couple of hours of mixing and mingling for what will end up. This will be our last regular networking group meeting of the year, because we're doing 2 fundraising events this year, which is different. In Crowd normally has a networking group in October, the last Thursday of October, but this year that falls on Halloween, which is why we bumped up the date to October 17th. And then we ended up turning this one into a big fundraiser event that special thanks to Medicare 411 and to Mosaic of Rockford. Those are the 2 instigators. Those are the 2 that said, yes, Greg, we're on board for this idea that you've got together for this contest, and we want to bring in as many people as possible to be part of this, including other not-for-profits. Linda is one of the most generous people, the executive director of a Mosaic of Rockford. Her and Tracy Fultz of Medicare 411 are just super, super generous women, and I love being able to do life with them and events like this with them. So I want to give them their flowers here right now and say, hey, because of them, we're able to do this event that we're doing with Tom's Trivia and Queen of Karaoke Tracy, and $1,000 grand prize to the winner of our event next.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. By the way, will I need to supply any equipment? I think I asked you this.
No.
I'll have a microphone and everything, right?
I'm even bringing you your shirt, man. You know,
right.
You can come topless. You'll be fine.
Can I choose to be topless throughout the whole thing, or do I have to wear a shirt?
That would be very odd.
Yeah, that would be really odd. So just go with the latter. I have to wear the shirt.
I did not see any Indianapolis Colts preseason games, so I don't have any predictions at all for next week's game at all. I want to see them play tomorrow and see what they're looking like. What are your thoughts on the Colts? I guess, did you follow them at all?
The Colts, yeah. They've got a really good coach, Shane Steichen. He's very, very good. They've got Anthony Richardson, who last year was injured in preseason, or maybe early, like second game or something like that. Anyway, he's the heir apparent. He is, it's his team, and he is healthy, and he's another Jalen Hurts type. Although Jalen Hurts squats 500 pounds. I mean, he's an absolute beast. He is. Anthony Richardson is a little skinnier, a little smaller, slimmer, maybe a little taller than Jalen Hurts, but he'll be a force to be reckoned with. But I think what you're going to see, do you remember when the Packers went out to Denver for the preseason game and they got absolutely hammered, 37-2 or 34-2 or whatever? They got 2 points on a meaningless safety. They came back and destroyed a really good Baltimore Ravens team. And that Baltimore Ravens team played some of their starters as well. Green Bay didn't play a lot of theirs. In fact, I don't think Green Bay played any of their starters. And they came back and absolutely spanked Baltimore. Now, again, it's preseason, but the idea is that we are not going to take this line down. I think if you're an Indianapolis fan, look out. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Look out.
I agree.
The other thing I was going to say is week 1 is such an outlier. Week 1, you can't tell anything. And I'll say this, and I'll make some Bear fans mad when I say this, so bear with me. I don't mean any disrespect. Because I think the Bears are going to be very, very good this year, and I think the Bears are probably going to make the playoffs. I'll put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
So what has happened in the past, when the Bears play the Packers week 1, usually the Packers beat them, and usually beat them soundly, because the Packers are a better organization when it comes to quarterbacks, when it comes to scheming. But remember, the Bears have had the Hallases from 1919. George Halas, 1919, Decatur Staley's. They haven't changed ownership in 105 years. They haven't changed ownership. And this is why the Bears are ill-prepared. This is why the Bears have never had a great quarterback. They've never had a quarterback that threw for 4,000 yards in 105 years. They've never, a lot of never-hads because of the McCaskies. And this is why when they come into week 1 against a team, an organization that knows how to prepare, knows how to play. Now, it hasn't always been that way. And I would venture to say, if you go back to the 70s, the 80s, when the Packers weren't very good, neither were the Bears, but they were in the 80s, obviously. I would venture to say the Bears, if they played week one, probably killed the Packers. But by and large, at least in this incarnation of the Packers over the last 30 years, 25 to 30 years with Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, the Packers have done it right. And every time they play early on in the season, not just first game, second game, third game, early on in the season when the Bears are still getting their wings, the Packers are already, it seems like, a step ahead. So that's what I'm saying. And this is why week one is such an outlier. You don't know. Philadelphia could go on a 6-game losing streak. They could be 3-10 at some point. I don't see it, but they could be. Green Bay could be 10-3. I've seen this happen so many times. A couple of years ago, Green Bay got absolutely smashed by the Jameis Winston New Orleans Saints, 38-3 opening day. Just absolutely blasted. And Green Bay came back and won their division, and they were the best team in football. They were 13-3. It was the last year of the 16-game schedule. Tennessee also was the number one seed from the AFC. Neither of the two made the Super Bowl, but anyway. And then just as early as 2 years ago, Minnesota destroyed the Packers in week one. It was a whitewashing. It was, I want to say 2 years ago, maybe 3. But it was the first year of the 17-game schedule. So I think this is the third year now of the 17-game schedule. So a couple of years ago. But anyway, so I just think that week one is an outlier. You don't know what you got because you haven't actually been in a true game setting until now. And so there you go.
I was pretty encouraged. I know our new kicker missed a 43-yarder that hit the upright, which that hurt, but he kicked well. Other than that,
everything he kicked was straight down the middle, with the exception of the 43-yarder that bounced. Okay, so here's the funny thing. After he kicked that first kick, and then he kicked the second one, and then he kicked the extra point, I'm like, I like this guy. Yeah, we made the right decision. Boom, 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 right down the middle. And then he kicked another field goal, and then he hit the wide right, the thing, and then I think he had one more after that. Couple of extra points after that. So, no, he's good. He's a keeper. It
changes the dynamic if that one goes in, but it doesn't. So that missed field goal hurt, but not as much as the 10 penalties hurt, and not as much as potentially Jordan Love's injury may hurt us. So we're all waiting for a report to see just how bad his knee is. It looks like that last play, it ended up being the third to last play of the game because Wills came in for 2 plays after this. But he twisted his body to get rid of the ball, flicked it over to Jacobs, who scampered for a couple yards, and then Jordan Love didn't get up. He was down the ground. It looks like his knee may have been popped out and then popped back in. Ooh. So what happens in a situation like that? Is that a week off? Is that no weeks off and just a lot of therapy? We'll wait and see.
All right, so now Malik Willis, I think, is a good quarterback. I think he's good. I think they made the right move by dropping Clifford and Michael Pratt. Clifford's on the practice squad. He'll be elevated to quarterback number 2 if Jordan Love misses. How crazy is that? I've been waiting most of my life to do a trip like this. I've been up to Lambeau a few times. So that's not anything new. But with my son, with my grandkids, this is a trip of a lifetime for me. I may not even get to see Jordan Love play.
You might see the backup play.
I'm okay with that as long as Green Bay's defense holds. I just want to win. I don't care if we win 11-10. I don't care. Let's just win. We want to be 1-1. We don't want to be 0-2.
Yeah, especially when it's the Colts, who are maybe decent but shouldn't be in the same league as the Packers are.
No, you were right what you said earlier. The 4 best teams in the NFL, or at least, 4 of the 8 best teams in the NFL, because Buffalo's good. The Rams are going to be good. Dallas is always good, although they choked in the playoffs. But
49ers is going to be
the
tough.
49ers, of course. And over there in the NFC, the AFC, you've got Cleveland's going to be good. Cincinnati's going to be good. So, there are 8 to 10 teams that have a legitimate shot at going deep into the playoffs. I'm not going to say a Super Bowl. I don't think Cleveland's Super Bowl ready. I really don't think Detroit, and that's another one I forgot to mention, but I don't think Detroit with their coaching is Super Bowl ready. I don't. They weren't last year. They had what could have been a 17-point lead late in the third quarter, and they opted to go for it and missed, and that spelled the end. San Francisco comes back, scores a couple touchdowns, and it wasn't late in third; it was middle third, I believe. But anyway, so Detroit, forget about them; they're done. I'm not that upset about last night. I was more upset with. I thought the defense has to find itself. By week 3, week 4, you are going to see some amazing defense from the Green Bay Packers. You will. I will tell you this. It takes about half a season, about 6 to 8 games in, before you start to really mesh, before you start to, the wheel kind of comes together, and the cogs or whatever. And this is going to take some time in this defense. It's a brand new defense, and everybody was so used to Joe Barry's defense for the last 3 years, which was just kind of sit back and say, we'll give him 20 yards, then we'll tackle him. That doesn't work, especially not on 3rd and 11, 3rd and 14. You know they're going to pass. Everybody, even who doesn't know anything about football, knows they're going to pass on 3rd and long, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12. And yet they still get a 14-yard pass play. That was under Joe Barry's defense. That won't happen under Jeff Hafley's defense. It just simply won't. Although it did happen a few times last night, because old habits die hard. And they're going to have to work together on this, get on the same team. So
I'm excited. I think they're gonna bounce back. Okay. And but yeah, we've got the team. We've got the team. I'm excited to see what happens in the coming weeks here. But yeah, the Colts game. Even with a backup quarterback, if Jacobs is healthy, Wilson had a great game. The running back Wilson had a great game. I thought they were going to run him into the end zone that drive that they ended up stalling out because he was on a roll. He was on a roll.
Oh, so, he was. He looked really good. Oh, and by the way, those first 2 drives, wow, a couple of penalties that were just killers. Those first 2 drives that ended up in 2 field goals. You get at least 1 touchdown out of that. 1.
You got to.
And you should have. You were first and goal on the 1 yard line, or was it? Am I right on that? First and goal on the 1, or first and goal on the 5, or something?
It was inside the 5, and
yeah. They ended up settling for a field goal.
You can't do that against the really good teams. You just can't.
No, you can't. And again, week 1 being the outlier. They're going to convert those. They will. They will convert those. And I think Jordan Love might have been a little nervous last night. His footing wasn't good. A couple of those pass plays, they were right on, but because the either Jordan Love slipped or Bo Melton on one of them, Dontavian Wicks on another one, they slipped, and Jaden Reed even slipped on one. So there were 3 or 4 passes that were routine, easy passes that Jordan Love doesn't usually miss. And he missed them because someone slipped.
The field was so bad.
The field was awful. That was absolutely
You can't blame it because both teams had to play on it, but it was just not a great game to watch because of that. It still was a great game to watch.
Okay, but what you can say is which team was prepared more for it. And if you've got the cleats with you, because you saw the guy on the sidelines, one of the trainers, he's redoing the cleats and all of that. That was a nightmare right there. And whichever team was able to, Saquon Barkley didn't seem to have too much trouble, so maybe he got the right cleats. I don't know.
He seemed to be doing all right. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
A few quick other shout outs before we wrap up this week. 2 weeks from today is the Worth the Walk Abundant Life is Worth It Hike for Life, the Pregnancy Care Center's annual Hike for Life at First Free Church. They stepped that off at 9:30 on Saturday morning, September 21st. So that's coming up in just 2 weeks. Sunday, October 6th, the Cars for Casa event in Belvedere is happening at the former Shopco, which is now Rock Valley College building on Big Thunder Boulevard. That's from noon to 3 on Sunday, October 6th, Cars for Casa. And then Nami says, hey, 9th is a Wednesday, and they are doing a heading back to 1984, celebrating their past, present, and future, NAMI of Northern Illinois at Embassy Suites, 5:30 to 9 p.m. on Wednesday night, October the 9th. They're taking it back to the 80s. Woohoo!
All right.
So that should be a fun time with our friends from NAMI. So wanted to give those all shout outs before we wrapped up this show. Next week, live from Lambeau, or at least close to Lambeau.
I'll be in Appleton, but yeah, close enough. I've never been to Appleton. I've been to Green Bay 3 times maybe, but I've never been to Appleton, so looking forward to it.
Nice town. Well, enjoy your trip up there, and we'll talk to you next Saturday morning, man.
Sounds good.
Remember, my friend, you change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone this week. We'll try to do the same. Meet you back here next week for another In Crowd 815 podcast. Bye.
In crowd, 815. In crowd.